With the GoCurrency.com sports ticker, I'm Tim Mulhaupt on the Huskers Radio Network. TGIF Huskers fans, and welcome into a jam-packed Friday edition of Sports Nightly. Earlier today, it was Nebraska men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg speaking to the media and detailed his excitement at the possibility of having both Sam Griesel and Derek Walker back on the floor together ahead of their big matchup against Purdue.
You know, I've talked a lot about this group, just how much I love what they're all about and how much I love coaching them and how they bring it every single day. And listen, getting hopefully healthy tomorrow. I mean, Derek and Sam have only been on the floor together for 4 games this year out of the 10 that we've played. So, you know, they're still getting used to each other. We've found a formula against Creighton to get those two really in a 2-man game with the side of the floor cleared, and a lot of good things happen, and that just kind of happened on the fly.
We'll hear more from Coach Hoiberg later in the hour before the Huskers battle the 4th-ranked Boilermakers tomorrow at 1:15 p.m. Ken Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen will have the call right here on the Huskers Radio Network with pregame at 12:15. Elsewhere in Husker sports, Matt Rule announced 2 hires to his football staff today. Former Syracuse defensive coordinator Tony White will serve in the same role for the Huskers, and Donovan Raiola will remain as the offensive line coach after joining the Husker staff this past season. And taking a look at other Huskers football news, they received news regarding their edge rusher position today as O'Shawn Mathis announced he is leaving Nebraska to declare for the NFL draft, while Jamari Butler announced that he will return after withdrawing from the transfer portal to remain with the Huskers. And congratulations to the 105 Nebraska student-athletes who earned academic All-Big Ten honors today. Cross country's McKenna Lovehog and soccer's Sarah Weber each recorded 4.0 GPAs, and Trent Hickson became just the 2nd 5-time academic All-Big Ten selection in Husker football history. Men's cross-country runner Bailey Timmons joined Hickson as a 5-time All-Conference selection. And in pro sports today, overseas at the World Cup, it was a wild day with 2 games needing penalty kicks to decide a winner. Croatia pulled the stunner, upsetting top-seeded Brazil. They were the Cup favorites, and Lionel Messi and Argentina narrowly avoided an upset loss, besting the Netherlands 4-3 in penalty kicks in that one. This update is presented by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items like equipment, trucks, and trailers? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and Sports Nightly is next on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Goes across the key, left block, inside Walker, gathers, puts it up and in! Bang! A ring! And just like that, the Huskers are up in this basketball game over Creighton by 8.
Pass is made, they run the slide. Dooley, block back, and it drops! 2019, nick of time. Guess who? Caitlin Horn. That's 11 blocks for Nebraska.
Got to Jazz Shelley. Gonna drive around Sellers. Flips it up. The banker is good. She's on fire. My goodness, is Jazz Shelley on fire.
Holy smokes.
She's got 27. Huskers lead at 60-56.
And that's going to wrap it up, my friends. 13 seconds left to go. Huskers are going to win for the first time in Omaha since Jake Muehlheisen did in 2004.
And please excuse me if I stand and applaud this Nebraska women's basketball team.
Whoa! Full shots, and here come the Huskers. The setter had with the first touch. Bump set to the right. Krause for the win. She got it! They did it! Call the grandkids! Nebraska to the Sweet 16. 26-24. Big Red in the 4th. Takes down the Kansas Jayhawks.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Good evening, welcome. It's our Friday show. Some have dubbed it the party show. I'm not sure I'm quite in that camp yet, but we're here on a Friday night.
We'll see how the next couple hours unfold. Maybe we'll get there.
We've not had a full Friday show in a long
I know,
long
and it's
time.
kind of too cold for me to feel like I want to party right now, but maybe once we get rolling in this thing and I'll feel like partying by the end.
Very good. Well, here to wrap up the week, we get a lot of little things covering for you. Fred Hoiberg had a press conference today. They play Purdue tomorrow. Big challenge in a lot of ways, height-wise for the Boilermakers and other things. We'll hear from the coach here in a little bit. We played a little bit of the performance podcast last night with Keith Zimmer, and we're going to hear from Ethan Piper later this hour, Husker football player, who you discovered does a really cool thing.
Yeah, really cool. Little Red Letters and has been instrumental in getting that going. And there's so many different ways that these student athletes give back, and it's not always documented. That's the thing is you see it on social media, but there is so much more that goes on that you don't know anything about. But when I talked to Keith Zimmer about featuring a couple of student athletes, Ethan Piper was one of those guys that he's very involved in the life skills department. And so you're going to hear about that Little Red Letters coming up here in a little bit.
That's cool. And Sneaky, he played pretty good football toward the end of the year when he got a shot.
Yeah, when he came back, right? That was when that offensive line started kind of clicking.
Yep.
Didn't you? I mean, you and Damon, I think, were calling it the Ethan Piper effect.
Yes.
When was that?
It was like that.
Wisconsin?
Illinois, Wisconsin, that kind of area of the season.
Yeah, because he got hurt, and then when he came back is when they kind of started putting some things together at the end. And so, it's going to be fascinating. Jeremiah and I dove into this on our podcast a couple weeks ago about how with the transfer portal, it's kind of weird. There's a lot of players in it, but there aren't always a lot of offensive linemen. And so I think that's probably a critical part of the personnel that Matt Rule and his staff will probably try to keep intact here, the ones that you have, because it's hard to just rebuild a completely offensive line from the portal because not a lot of those guys go into the portal. And Jeremiah talked about how a lot of times when you get good offensive linemen, you don't let them go. And so, and with the development part of it too. So I think that will be a group that a lot of those guys like Ethan Piper and Turner Corcoran, a lot of those players will be guys that this staff will focus on trying to maintain because you need depth. And, and I think they will absolutely add some guys to that room, but you've got to have depth on the offensive line as we saw firsthand this year with this Nebraska football team.
I'm going to make a soft prediction.
Okay.
Ethan might be our starting center.
Okay. I kind of like that.
He's taken snaps in practice at that spot. You lose Trent Hickson, who's moved on, graduated, and finished. Ethan, I think, will have a shot to be the center next year. So
I think he's a really smart guy too, which is part of it too. It's got to be a guy that can kind of see things and tell people where to go and direct the traffic. Yeah. And that was a guy that I think Jeremiah had pointed out to maybe potentially be there as well. So you got to find somebody to play center. And with Trent Hickson, who had a sneaky good year.
He did.
We didn't talk about him enough, I don't think, but he probably was the MVP of that offensive line.
Proud of him. He did a nice job. A lot of people doubted whether he could do it and hold up. I thought he did a nice job.
And especially only doing it for 1 year.
Right.
After following Cam Jurgens, it was really impressive. And to see his leadership on the sideline, too, he was a really vocal leader, and I was really impressed with Trent Hickson this year.
So, Ethan, that segment of the Performance Podcast coming up later this hour. Hour number 2, Kendall Moriarty. You talked to her the other day. The Husker women, in the midst of a 5-game homestand, will host Samford tomorrow night. We'll hear a little bit of your conversation with her.
Yeah, and Kendall's going to be big for this next stretch as long as Sam Hybe and Izzy Bourne are out. And I know both of them have been listed as day-to-day, but in the meantime, Kendall Moriarty is going to be a player that Amy Williams calls on a lot to try to fill the void. And she's really had some things come together, which a lot of times you see between freshman and sophomore year. And she's provided some good sparks off the bench for this team, and they're going to keep needing her too. We've seen her knock down some big shots, and she's going to be a critical part of what this team wants to do moving forward.
So we'll hear from her in hour 2, and we have a pick. Notice singular pick
one
to
pick
make tonight,
one
and
pick.
Review last week's picks. So
I mean, it's funny because Andrew's asking you to pick the junior college national championship, high schools, because he's trying to get as many games because he's so far behind.
Yeah, the revenge tour has not worked out the way it was planned 4 months ago.
I tried to tell him, I tried to give him some advice that you can't really talk trash or act like you've got everything in the bag until you've done it consistently. And he came out and had a couple good weeks, and he let it go to his head, and then he crashed and burned.
He sure did.
If anybody learns a lesson on how to maintain and handle success, learn it from Andrew in the revenge tour this season.
Possible loser of the week. We will have winners and losers for you to wrap up the show tonight as well. We want you to be a part of it at 402-413-2400 is the phone number or the text line. It's our Sports Alley hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Well, we finally have an announcement. 2 new additions to Matt Rule's staff came out today. We had the 6 last week, 2 more today, and these have been highly reported on and now official from the athletic department and from Matt Rule. And let's start, Jessica, with Tony White. Now the defensive coordinator for the Cornhuskers comes from Syracuse, where he has led the Orange to back-to-back top 30 defensive efforts last year in 21 and this year in 22. Really made improvement. And, boy, I went and did some looking at some of the boards for the Syracuse. They are not happy to lose Coach White to Nebraska. I think this is a pretty good hire.
I like the hire, and, I mean, we picked Syracuse a lot on our picks this year, and how many times I didn't pick them. I doubted them, and then they kept winning, and they were kind of a talk of college football for the first half of the season. They got hit pretty hard with injuries, I think, towards the last half of the season, but NC State is a team that puts up the points, and Syracuse held them to, 9 points? They slowed down Clemson, who's always a high-powered offense. There are definitely some really strong flashes from the Syracuse defense last year, and I think, again, a team that got hit pretty hard at the end by injuries. But I'm excited, and I think Matt Rule's putting together a really impressive staff.
It is, and he did a good job on doo-doo in that Syracuse Clemson game that you like to refer to him as. They also, and this is what jumped out at me, they scored 3 defensive touchdowns this year, and they were 23rd in the country in turnover margin. So they got turnovers, that is something we just have not been able to do for a long time here at Nebraska. Those are the things that jumped out at me as well.
And I think it matches what Matt Rule, from what you saw out of his teams at Baylor, and kind of like ball hawks, and aggressive and flying to the football. That's a lot of times what you saw from Syracuse, which causes a lot of those turnovers. And I think that will align with that mentality and that toughness that Matt Rule wants to see out of his teams.
He also, he had an 8-year run at San Diego State. And for people who are concerned about can this staff recruit, twice he was named the Mountain West Recruiter of the Year while he was at San Diego State. So this is a guy that has had great success recruiting individuals, and at completely opposite ends of the coast, from San Diego State to Syracuse. He has covered the board across the country.
And not just him, but I think this whole staff is a staff that Coach Rule has been very strategic about getting guys that can recruit across the country. I mean, we've seen it's going to be a big emphasis to get guys in this region. That's what he's done at Temple and Baylor, but he's also bringing in guys that can go across the country and bring in guys. And I think, too, something that's important to keep in mind with this staff is they're going to develop talent. So it might not always be about getting the flashy 5 stars, which who knows how legit that is these days anyways. But I would much rather have guys that come in as 3 stars or 4 stars and leave as 5 stars, as opposed to coming in as 5 stars and aren't as developed. And so I think the staff is, they're going to get guys that come in that fit this culture, fit what they want to do, and that they can develop. I think you've already seen some of the guys that they've made offers to is that they've seen potential in, that they know that they can get here and develop.
Longtime defensive backs coach as well. That's kind of where he really cut his teeth, is in the defensive secondary before becoming a coordinator. So Tony White, now part of the staff, played collegiately at UCLA. So he's got roots all across the country. I love that because he went to the Northeast and coached at Syracuse, now he's got a familiarity with that part of the country, which really is on the edge of Big Ten country as well. So Tony White, excited about him. This was rumored the last 48 hours or so. We can now confirm that tonight. Also can confirm, Jessica, that the one holdover from the previous staff is going to be Donovan Raiola, the offensive line coach for Nebraska. And I know this will be a bit of a lightning rod for Husker fans, but as we talked earlier in the segment about Ethan Piper and his development, I think you saw that line get better as the year went along. And Coach Raiola didn't get a chance to recruit any of the guys in his room because he didn't get hired by Scott Frost until last January, and then got thrown a bunch of curveballs with Nuri's suspension, and then Teddy gets hurt and goes down. I'm not sure it's fair to judge Donovan on last year. I'm
1,000% with you. I don't think you can say that was a fair shot of how you can judge what he's going to do as a football coach. I mean, from the start of fall camp, Jeremiah and I went out there and we talked about this offensive line they didn't have a lot of depth already without Nuri. And then it was going to be tough if anybody went down. And then you lose Teddy. And then you have a couple other injuries throughout, Ethan Piper. And it just, there wasn't as much depth that you need to have in that room. And so that was tough. Then you talk about having to shuffle that line. And how many times did we talk about it throughout the season? It is hard to do when you are not getting continuity with the guys that you're lining up against and you're playing different positions. I mean, Turner Corcoran was supposed to be what? Right tackle?
The right tackle.
And there's guys that had to move around that had not been in their typical spots. And so I think you have to keep in mind that it was a lot of tough blows that Coach Raiola was dealt and the way that they came together at the end. And I think, again, going back to what I had talked about earlier, with the offensive line, and a lot of times guys don't leave when you're offensive lineman. You just look at the portal. There's just not as many offensive linemen that go to the portal. And so probably, too, might play into that is keeping some of those guys here around, because I think this group of offensive linemen love Coach Raiola and love playing for him. And so if you talk about a position that you need to try to retain some guys and focus on, offensive line is critical, in my opinion. And Turner Corcoran's a guy that has been raved about. I just don't think he's been able to play in his spot and been developed in his spot yet. And so, but he's a guy that people have been talking about has been an NFL talent for years now. And I think there's some talent, there's some experience in that room that you want to make sure that you maintain here at Nebraska to build around, because I don't think it's as easy to just rebuild a room completely from the offensive line as it is wide receivers or quarterbacks or anything like that, because that's what the guys that you see in the portal. But I think probably that might have something to do with it too, is trying to retain some of these guys that are already in that offensive line room.
And Jessica, if you had spun the wheel again at that spot, and particularly that spot that is so detail-oriented and technique-oriented, they would have been on their third offensive line coach in as many years. That's a heart from Greg Austin to Donovan to somebody else. So I like the fact, and hey, maybe it doesn't work. And another year, Coach Rural goes, oh, we got to get better there. But I'm willing to go with Donovan for one more year. And I agree with you. I think the players like and want to play hard for him. And he's pretty tough on those guys at times.
He really is. He kind of, again, one of those guys you talk about, he coaches them really hard, and he loves them harder, and they love playing for him. Every single offensive lineman that I talked to really, really loved Coach Raiola. And I think, too, a new strength and conditioning coach and all of that, just seeing how they develop under this staff. And there's a lot of guys on this staff already with Matt Rule that have come with offensive line backgrounds. And so it's a huge emphasis for Matt Rule. He would not make this hire lightly. I know he did interviews with Coach Raiola, with other coaches, and so I think he wouldn't bring in or retain someone that he didn't think was going to be able to fit what he's trying to do here. And so we got to trust Coach Rule at this point, and I think so far we've seen he's made some good hires that are going to fit his culture, his program, that can recruit and develop. And it's a pretty young, hungry, eager staff, which is, I think, really critical in recruiting some of these young players right now.
Totally agree. Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office, and it's a big weekend. It's a huge recruiting weekend. There are 17 prospective student athletes that are making their official visits to Nebraska this weekend. If you go to the basketball game tomorrow, you might see a couple of them walking around.
And Coach Rule's going to be there, making an appearance at the game.
Can we confirm that?
Yes, I think it's been released. I think it was out on social media, but yeah, they're going to be out recruiting, and the boards are all lit up, all the TV screens. There's a huge display down there in the lobby. I'm actually going to go talk to a few of the commitments that we'll be able to play for you guys on signing day, like we did last year. And so this weekend, next weekend, big weekends, because we've mentioned several times that the NCAA has a rule that even if a player has taken their official visit to a school, if there's a coaching change, they can come back and revisit.
Terrific rule.
And this staff has really, they've gone into a lot, they've put in a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of details to really try to hit it out of the park these next couple of weekends. And it's not just about the high school kids, it's also about the transfer portal guys. There's a lot of different guys coming in that they're going to try to sell on coming to this program.
Very good. All right, full show ahead tonight. Again, if you have some thoughts about any of this, 402-413-2400. We'll take some calls, some texts. We'll hear from Coach Hoiberg, who had a press conference earlier today about the matchup tomorrow with fourth-ranked Purdue. All that straight ahead.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Fahm with Campus News. Students in Nebraska's Rake School of Computer Science and Management created software that is saving a Nebraska e-commerce company 34,000 hours of work per year. Created by a group of 5 Rake School students for their Design Studio capstone project, this software is one of 300 real-world software solutions created by Rake School students.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
The Chevy truck lineup has something for everyone. From off-road adventures to navigating the city, our trucks have the strength to take on what's next. Plus, they are durable and come loaded with purposeful features that help you work smarter and play harder. Explore the powerful Silverado with multiple trim levels available to reach your demands. Or test drive the capable Colorado and discover the next level performance it has to offer. Find new roads at Woodhouse Chevy, in-store or online anytime at woodhousegm.com.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
It's harvest special time, and you can save $3 per foot or $3,900 per quarter-mile system now on a T&L pivot system. Pivots worked long hours this season battling dry weather to save top-dollar corn and soybean crops. But did your pivots work like no other? If not, it's time to invest in a reliable, safe, low-maintenance T&L irrigation system. Hydrostatic drives move these durable workhorses continuously across fields. So get an irrigation system that works as hard as you do. Contact T&L Irrigation, your local T&L dealer, or visit us online at tlirr.com. T&L Irrigation Systems like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every single day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed the globe. When you grow non-GMO white corn or non-GMO yellow corn, you can earn up to $250 more per acre. Do the math. Growing CVA value-added grains pays huge dividends. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how you can get up to a $5,000 signing bonus with a value-added grain contract at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit fmne.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Off the back rim, Markowski. Great rebound. People for the ball. Throws it out to Moriarty. Widener for three. Deep right corner. You betcha. Off the assist of Moriarty, but give half an assist to Alexis Markowski.
And the sophomores are closing out the quarter.
Monday, join us for Sports Nightly at 6 p.m. when we'll recap another big weekend of Huskers athletics. At 7 p.m., Fred Hoiberg is in studio for the Nebraska men's basketball show. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
And we're back on our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Welcome back to our Friday edition of Sports Honda here on the Huskers Radio Network. Big basketball game tomorrow at PBA. There's two games tomorrow. The men play Purdue, the women play Samford. Non-conference game for the women, and a top 5 matchup for the Huskers. Don't see many top 5 teams coming to PBA. You will tomorrow. This is a really good Purdue team. Fred Hoiberg met with the media earlier today. First question was, give us an update on the illness and status of Sam Griesel.
He's doing better. He, limited him in practice today. Still not 100%, but he's doing a lot better than he was. Kind of scary what he was going through, just how he, as the day went on, he really wore down and progressively got worse. So, Sam, I mean, the kid's a warrior, and, it has to be something really serious for him to miss a game like that. But the next morning he woke up, felt a little bit better, and then he progressively got better throughout the day. So, it's good to have him back out there, and we'll see how he does overnight, but hopefully we'll get him back on the floor.
So good news there on Griesel. Apparently there's quite a bit of this running through the team right now, and this happens in team sports when they're in these close environments, locker rooms. They're around each other all the time. This is when somebody gets a bug, something, they pass it around to each other, and according to the coach, that's kind of happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a little something right now. Most of it's head and in congestion, where Sam's was more, just overall body. And, he was in a lot of pain and very nauseous pretty much all throughout the day. So his was a little bit different version, I think, of what everybody else has right now. But, listen, everybody's going through this. It's just that time of year.
And thinking back to the COVID year, that was the concern, right? Because COVID was so prevalent in the community that these teams who, again, spend so much time around each other in locker rooms, buses, at each other's houses or apartments or whatever, that it would spread through everybody. And so now the big bug's going through all this team right now. Going to need everybody, all hands on deck tomorrow. It's a really good Purdue team, ranked 4th in the country. And with 7'4" Zach Edey, they've got one of the biggest teams in the country size-wise. And so they're going to be a huge challenge for Nebraska. Here's the coach breaking down the Boilermakers.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary team. They're number 1 in the nation in offensive efficiency, and they get 40% of their misses. So glass is going to be huge. They're so physical and so big. And they, obviously when you're playing through Edey, I think he's the most dominant player in the country right now. So, he just puts you in such a difficult position based on different coverages, and they can all shoot. They do a great job spreading the floor. They have great spacing, and they run their stuff with so much purpose and pace. The first 15 possessions against Minnesota, they ran 14 different plays. So it's not one of those game plans where you can, scheme for every play that they're putting out there. They run too much. So, it's about concepts. It's about going out there, playing hard and playing physical. And if you do that, you give yourself a chance. If not, it's going to be a really long day.
Tomorrow is the back end of an amazing stretch, right? I mean, 3 straight ranked teams, and at one point all 3 have been in the top 10 in the country. Started with Creighton on Sunday, Indiana in the midweek, and then Purdue tomorrow. Huskers 1-1 in that stretch. That's the good news. They got the win at Creighton, and this is the only one of the 3 that's a home game for the Big Red. And so Nebraska knows this was going to be a trying time, and certainly could use some help from all of you tomorrow, the 6-man and the crowd, and hopefully there's a good student turnout tomorrow. I know we're getting close to finals starting on campus on Monday, but here's the coach talking about the tough week and what the fans can do to help tomorrow.
It is every week that we seem like we play a top 10 team. Every game, I think we've played, I saw this stat the other day, that we played against more quad 1 teams than any other Power 5 team in the country. So, we're playing a great schedule against great teams, and I know our fans will be here for us in this game tomorrow. And, I think, as I talked about early with this group, it's a team that our fan base can really rally behind because of how much they compete, how hard they play every time they step on the floor. Boston College was awesome. Our fans were terrific in that game. And, I think we getting the big win that we did last Sunday, it generated a lot of interest. That's just how those big games go. And again, this team, I've gotten a lot of messages, former players, a lot of people in the community just saying how much, even Indiana, how much they appreciated that team and how hard they fought. So, we appreciate tomorrow. I'm going to buy some pizza for the students before the game and, get here early, be loud, and we're certainly going to need them against this team that we're playing.
1:15 tip-off time tomorrow. PBA, our pregame coverage with Kent and Jake begins at 12:15 tomorrow. Huskers' second league game of the year, 0-1 in the league after dropping the game to Indiana on Wednesday night. And then it's back to some non-conference games. 2 more non-conference games left. The one next Saturday in Kansas City against K-State, and then Queens College here for an all-day tournament, all-day basketball affair at PBA coming up on the 20th of the month. Queens College is a team out of Charlotte making a conversion from being a Division II school to the Division I level. So those are the last 2 non-conference games left for the Huskers this year. Nebraska 811 says, go dig red. Before you dig, always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free, it's easy, and it's the law. All right, 402-413-2400. Fire off a text. Love to answer some texts here with you on a Friday night when we come back. Another part of Jessica's Performance Podcast. Tonight we'll hear from Ethan Piper, who has developed kind of a pen pal thing that he's put together. We'll let Ethan tell us about that. That's next.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
In transition, Shelley 3 on the left wing. You betcha! How do you not guard her in transition? And timeout, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen of the Big Ten, if Nebraska goes in transition, somebody needs to guard Jazz Shelley.
Hey, Huskers fans, tomorrow, Nebraska women's basketball hosts Sanford at the PBA. Matt Coatney and Jeff Greash are live on the Huskers radio network at 5:45 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with JTech Solar. JTech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. JTech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Friday night show, Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Last night we played part of Jessica's latest edition of the Performance Podcast. Keith Zimmer, who oversees life skills at Nebraska, which is the opportunity to get the student athletes involved in some community things, and each sport kind of picks out a certain thing that they really jump behind and support. And one of the athletes that Jessica talked to for this podcast, which you can find where we have our podcasts all stashed, is Ethan Piper, the Husker offensive lineman, who has created a bit of a pen pal system. Our Performance Podcast presented by Midwest Dairy. Your local farm families want to help you reset yourself with dairy. And tonight, our subject matter revolves around Ethan Piper.
Continue our conversation talking about the Huskers Life Skills Department, and one of the student athletes that's gotten really involved with that area is sophomore offensive lineman Ethan Piper. So thanks for spending some time with us. I know it's a busy time of the year for you guys.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. It's a great pleasure to be on the show.
Okay, well, tell us about your first perspective of the Life Skills Department and when you first realized, oh, this is something that I want to get involved with.
Yeah, right away coming here in Nebraska, just like the emphasis they put on life skills here is way more than any other college around in the nation. And for me, just like how inviting and like how just like the mission life skills had is like, I think they were very driven to helping us grow, not even on the field or on the court, is helping us grow in all aspects of our lives. So that's been the most appealing thing, is making the best version of myself coming here for the life skills. So
why was it so important for you to immediately get involved with the community service aspect of what Life Skills offers?
I think Nebraska has they pour a whole bunch of resources into us all the time, all athletic divisions. But I think Life Skills and community services is one way we could just give back, the most naturally give back. And it's just a good time just to go out and give back to what we have been getting here. So
how important is it too, because Keith was talking about making sure that you guys are educated and informed on things and being prepared for things outside of sports and life once sports ends. So how important is that aspect of it to the education part that they provide you guys too?
Yeah, they do a very good job of having a whole bunch of talks and a whole bunch of opportunities for student athletes to come in and learn. I know, like, one of the most random one I always think is, like, they had, like, kind of a 30-minute seminar of how to set up an Instagram account. Like, for me, I was like, oh, like, but it's something that, like, if you don't think about it, it is a skill to have, especially in today's age.
Yeah, it's a huge part of building your brand.
Building your brand and just having that public appearance. So I think they do a good job of checking all the X's and O's, saying that, like, they hit all life, that, like, and they're tied to life skills, everything about life. So they do a very good job with that.
Okay, well, Keith was telling me you have this really neat project that you do, Little Red Letters. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I think it started last year. I know Keith, they set up something of, there's a lot of actively deployed parents out, and especially the Lincoln community, and they have kids around the age of, I think it goes from like 3rd grade until junior high. So what they started doing is they asked student athletes to just have a pen pal, and just that kid it's hard having a parent leave to go out, and so they just wanted the kid to have something to be excited about and look forward to. And for me, it's been a really good experience. They came up to me, and I came up with the name Little Red Letters, and it's kind of a funny thing. But no, I think I've got a lot out of it. Especially, I've enjoyed my pen pal. He's a great guy. His name's Kaysen, and it just brings you back, like, gives you some more reason to play for what you do. So.
And you have student athletes that are involved from all different sports, right?
All different sports. The gymnast team, the rifle team, all soccer, everywhere. So.
Why was that important to you to get involved in that specifically?
You know, I know, especially growing up, I know how hard it is, especially if active deployed parents. I know how hard it is for kids. I grew up with a couple of them, so I know for me that's been really good, just to know that, like, I'm helping and trying to make a positive impact in these kids' lives. So.
And what does it mean to you that you've got fellow student athletes that want to be a part and help out in that area too?
I think that just speaks with the magnitude of who we're recruiting here. I think that we are recruiting good kids, and having, like I said, 40, 50 people coming to this event and helping out, I think that's just a testament of what the culture here is at Nebraska. So.
I don't think you ever get too old of getting excited about getting actually a handwritten letter in the mail. How excited do you get when Kaysen writes you back?
Oh man, it's awesome. He sometimes, like, I think if you ever feel down in life, you just get a written hand letter from a fifth grader, and it'll change your perspective on things. And no, I always try to read them before the games. Awesome. Especially, I got one before the Michigan game, and I read it on the plane right there, and I kind of reflect on. Sometimes, like I said, you get caught up in the X's and O's and just like the game plan and stuff for these games, and it's nice just to take a step back and realize what it's all about. So. Has he been to a game yet? I don't think so. I haven't met Kaysen in person yet. It's kind of been hard, especially with classes and, like, running around. But I think they're gonna definitely meet. We're definitely gonna meet them here pretty soon. So. How cool is it too that life skills, because they have their certain events that they have that you guys get involved with that are set every year, and there's the school visits and all of that. But if a student athlete has an idea, like Little Red Letters, or there was a track athlete, Jenna Rogers, who just had a camp for special needs, that if you have your own idea, they want to help you in that regard. They're there for this, like, a framework. They'll help you, guide you to the right path. But if you have something going on, they're all for it. And just, like, they're very supportive and very open-minded to all the ideas just to help with the community around us. So, with with Little Red Letters specifically, if somebody's listening in and wants to get involved or has a kid that maybe they want to get on the list, how do they do that? I would just say contact. Life skills. Life skills. I know Keith Zimmer is a great guy. He does a very good job of communicating with the public, with anybody that wants to get involved in these things. And I just say reach out to him. So.
How important is it as a student athlete? I mean, it is so much pressure, and you guys have so much going on, a lot of expectations just as an athlete, and then you're balanced being a student. To have an escape like writing little red letters or going out and volunteering at an event and just kind of having that perspective, how important is that?
Oh, I think it's, for me, it's been very, like, fundamental in my, like, just how I perceive things now. It's just like, I know, like, doing this has opened up my mind just to realize, like you get, like I said, you get so caught up in the whole game plan and like going in the season, like, oh, we got like this, we got to do this, and you get so caught up that you forget about a lot of things that are just like the simple things in life. And that one of them is just writing a page letter to some fifth grader in here in Lincoln. So,
why are you wired that way to want to give back?
Well, so like I am actually becoming a teacher here.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, secondary science education is my major. I will be a third generation teacher, so my grandparents and my dad, they're all teachers, but I've always been intrigued of just giving back to people. I think teaching, I love science. I want to go teach science to kids, and I know I want to impact people's lives more than whatever money I make, so.
I think you'd be a fun teacher.
Yeah, I hope so. That's the plan.
There's Jessica's conversation with Ethan Piper, part of the Performance Podcast. It is posted. You can go read that. And again, it is sponsored by Midwest Dairy and your local farm families. Fascinating story. Gives you a little insight into a student athlete and some things that they do off the playing surface. And there's hundreds of those stories here at Nebraska's campus, and it's fun to be able to talk about some of those as well. Buckle up, put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. 402-413-2400. That's the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. When we come back, news about some Husker defenders. One leaving, one coming back. I'll tell you all about that next.
Touchdown, Nebraska!
If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more.
Got it!
Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
It's the Ford Shine Bright sales event, and Ford is helping you be a light for others this holiday season. Right now, get special offers on select Ford trucks and SUVs. Come in and choose a vehicle in stock, or simply place a custom order, lock in your rate, and you're protected. Hurry in to your local Ford dealer today and find the Ford vehicle that helps you shine bright all season long. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres Solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe back with you. Final few minutes here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. And mentioned going to the break, got some news about some Husker defenders. One leaving, one coming back. O'Shawn Mathis, a couple of hours ago, announced on social media that he is declaring for the 2023 NFL Draft. He came out about a week ago and said he was weighing his options, but hadn't closed the door in coming back. Wanted to talk more with Coach Rule and the new coaches coming in and see what he felt like. And also, I think, probably get some feedback from some NFL people about where he projects and those type of things. So he made it official late this afternoon. O'Shawn, the transfer from TCU a year ago, had an impact for the Huskers. Maybe not as much as some of us had hoped, but he was a good, solid player for the Big Red this past year. So his Husker career is finished. And earlier in the day, Jamari Butler, who a couple of days ago announced that he was going into the portal, and he had at least 10 or 11 offers in the first 6 hours that his name was in the portal, has decided to stay at Nebraska. So that's a good sign. We've always kind of prefaced this when we mention people's names that they've entered the portal, that option, for the most part, and every case is case by case with the coaches, is going to have the opportunity to come back. And so you kind of wonder if these two go hand in hand. If maybe Jamari heard from O'Shawn that O'Shawn is done and headed to the NFL, that clears some playing time at that edge rusher position that Jamari plays, because Caleb Tanner has exhausted his eligibility, and now O'Shawn is going to go try the NFL. We don't know what Garrett Nelson is doing, so this certainly clears some playing time for Jamari. So Jamari Butler, and I've been a big fan, said this the other night when we announced that he was going to the portal. I'm a fan. I think Jamari can really help and play at a high level for the Huskers, so that's good news on that front, that Jamari Butler is coming back for the Huskers for the 2023 season. John in Kansas on our text line. Any news on Ernest Heisman? Is he headed to Iowa? I know he has visited Iowa. I believe he's visiting some other schools. I'm hoping that the door is still open for Ernest to come back to Lincoln. So nothing is set, John, on Ernest. He is taking some visits. And, yeah, I know. I saw him at the Iowa basketball game last night, so he was in Iowa City. But I think he's going to some other campuses as well. I sure hope that works back in Nebraska's favor, and he pulls a Jamari Butler and comes back to be a Cornhusker before all said and done. So a lot of moving parts, including this weekend. You've got 17 official visits going on. The stadium is lit up. I've even seen outside of our studio here, a couple of young men have been walking past the doors on their official visits. Jessica's down trying to track down some of them and get some interviews with some of them here this hour. She'll be back with me in hour number 2. So busy weekend for Matt Rule and the staff. Matt, in a lot of those visits, those recruits, going to be at the basketball game tomorrow with the Huskers taking on Purdue, and I believe a chance maybe for Coach Rule to be introduced to the crowd tomorrow. So looking forward to all of that happening at Husker basketball tomorrow, that 1:15 tip with the Purdue Boilermakers. Coach Hoiberg, we had earlier in the hour some clips from his press conference. He mentioned how important the fans are, how important the students are, that he's going to be delivering some pizzas to the student body tomorrow. Sam in Omaha says, well, I bet Andrew will be in line for free pizza. Sam, I got to tell you, Tim and I were talking about this before the show. Now, Andrew's a little picky. He's kind of a picky eater. So I don't know. I mean, it's got to be, I think, the right kind of pizza for Andrew to jump in there. Andrew loves food, but it's got to kind of be his, he's really picky on what kind of food he wants to eat. But I appreciate the text. Keep them coming during hour number 2. We're going to hear from Kendall Moriarty in the second hour, Husker women's basketball player. They've got a non-conference game tomorrow night against Samford, and we'll hear that, and we'll make our Big Ten picks for the week. We have one game to pick, the Army-Navy game, coming up tomorrow. Love that game. Hey, our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. Anytime, 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Set the screen for Griesel, dances to the foul line, in the paint, all the way into the block. Out it comes to Banamel. 8 on the shot clock, 1 arm to the pass. Breidenbach puts up another 3. This one's on the way. Got it! Got it! Got it! Redenbach with a big three.
Hey, Huskers fans, tomorrow, Huskers men's hoops host Purdue at the PBA. Ken Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen are live with wall-to-wall coverage at 12:15 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics to take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
With the GoCurrency.com sports ticker, I'm Tim Mulhaupt on the Huskers Radio Network. TGIF Huskers fans, welcome into another jam-packed hour of Sports Nightly. Earlier today, Huskers men's basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg spoke to the media and detailed his excitement at the possibility of having both Sam Griesel and Derek Walker back on the floor together ahead of their matchup against Purdue.
You know, I've talked a lot about this group, just how much I love what they're all about and how much I love coaching them and how they bring it every single day. And listen, getting hopefully healthy tomorrow. I mean, Derek and Sam have only been on the floor together for 4 games this year out of the 10 that we've played. So, you know, they're still getting used to each other. We've found a formula against Creighton to get those two really in a 2-man game with the side of the floor cleared, and a lot of good things happen, and that just kind of happened on the fly.
The Huskers will battle the 4th-ranked Boilermakers tomorrow at 1:15 p.m. Ken Pavelka and Jake Muehlheisen will have the call pregame here on the Huskers Radio Network at 12:15. Elsewhere in Husker sports, Matt Rule announced 2 hires to his football staff today. Former Syracuse defensive coordinator Tony White will serve in the same role for the Huskers, and Donovan Raiola will remain as the offensive line coach after joining the Huskers this past season. The Huskers also received news regarding their edge rusher position today, as O'Shawn Mathis announced he is leaving Nebraska to declare for the NFL draft, while Jamari Butler posted on his social media that he will withdraw from the transfer portal to remain with Nebraska. And congratulations to the 105 Nebraska student athletes who earned academic All-Big Ten honors today. Cross country's McKenna Lovehog and soccer's Sarah Weber each recorded 4.0 GPAs on their way to a Big Ten selection. And Trent Hickson became just the second 5-time academic All-Big Ten selection in Huskers football history. Men's cross-country runner Bailey Timmons joins Hickson as a 5-time All-Conference selection today. And in pro sports today overseas at the World Cup, it was a wild day with 2 games needing penalty kicks to decide a winner. Croatia pulled a stunner, upsetting top-ranked Brazil, and Lionel Messi and Argentina narrowly avoided the same fate as they were able to stave off the upset against the Netherlands, winning 4-3 in penalty kicks. This update is presented by Currency. Currency makes financing quick, easy, and secure for heavy machinery, ag equipment, trucks, trailers, and more. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is next on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Goes across the key, left block, inside Walker, gathers, puts it up and in! Bang! A ring! And just like that, the Huskers are up in this basketball game over Creighton by 8.
Pass is made, they run the slide. Dooley, block back, and it drops! 2019, nick of time. Guess who? Kalen Horn. That's 11 blocks for Nebraska.
At the Jazz Shelley. Going to drive around Sellers. Flips it up. The banker is good. She's on fire. My goodness, is Jazz Shelley on fire.
Holy smokes.
She's got 27. Huskers lead at 60-56.
And that's going to wrap it up, my friends. 13 seconds left to go. Huskers are going to win for the first time in Omaha since Jake Muehlheisen did in 2004.
And please excuse me if I stand and applaud this Nebraska women's basketball team.
Whoa! Full shots, and here come the Huskers. The setter hat with the first touch. Bump set to the right. Krause for the win. She got it! They did it! Call the grandkids! Nebraska to the Sweet 16. 26-24. Big run of the 4th. Takes down the Kansas Jayhawks.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, final hour of the night, final hour of the week of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you've had a great week. Hope you got a busy weekend planned. Probably got some Christmas shopping to do. Maybe you have a Christmas party to attend tonight or tomorrow night. So hopefully you have some fun. Maybe you can make it out to PBA tomorrow. A little basketball doubleheader. The men play Purdue at 1:15. The women play a non-conference game against Samford. Not Stanford, but Samford. 6 o'clock at Pinnacle Bank Arena tomorrow night. So we'll have both those broadcasts for you here on the Huskers Radio Network. Going to hear from Kendall Moriarty here in just a couple of minutes on that women's basketball team. They're in the midst now of a 5-game homestand. Started it off with a blasting of the Badgers on Wednesday night at PBA. Let's start the hour with a couple of phone calls. John in Lincoln's been hanging on. Good evening, John. Welcome to the program.
How you doing? I was talking to some of my friends out on the West Coast, and they would just like to know what is the bare minimum that the basketball coach has to win to keep his job. And if things went south like they did, and I don't think they're going to go south, like with Scott Frost, could the basketball coach be let go earlier like Scott Frost did?
Well, Trev has not put a number out there. I think Trev is very happy with what he sees, and I think we all are. I think we all like this team quite a bit right now, and this is a murderous stretch with the game with Purdue tomorrow. But, I like the way they're trending. I think if Fred has a 500-type season, I think that would merit him getting one more year in Lincoln.
Yeah, I do too. I just, people are just asking me, friends of mine that aren't in Nebraska now, and they just sort of wanted to know. They were surprised when Scott Frost didn't get his 5th year like he was supposed to have gotten. So they just sort of don't know what type of footing the basketball coach is on. And I like to hear what you're saying. That makes me feel secure.
Yeah, well, John, we'll just follow it as we go. But I think, and we've got Trev's show coming up next week, by the way, in a programming note. Thanks for the call, John. Tuesday night, Trev Albert's monthly show, hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. So put it in your calendar. You want to hear that. We'll get the latest, and I'm sure basketball will come up and get his take on what he's seen from this team. But, you go on the road and you beat a top 10 team in Creighton. You have beaten a couple of ACC teams already. I think people are enjoying this team to this point in time, and I think it's still up to Fred. He's got to, and his team, they've got to keep playing well if he wants to be back for another season in Lincoln. But I like what I've seen so far. Let's go from Lincoln out to North Platte. Hello, Jim. You're up on Sports Island. Good evening.
Well, and good evening to you and Jessica. I am very disappointed that the deal with Scott Frost didn't work out, and I was wanting them to keep Barrett Root as one of the defensive coach, but one of your producers says he's gone, and I was wondering, have you heard whether Casey Thompson is going to transfer? Reason I'm asking you that, if he does, we're going to be hurting big time for quarterbacks. Thank you.
I appreciate the call. Casey has not made an announcement whether he's coming back or not. A lot of indications are that he will. I think he's mentioned on a couple of different interviews and social media posts that he has met with Coach Rule a couple of times and has had very good conversations. We were told that Casey had some surgery done on his shoulder earlier this week, so he's dealing with that. So our thoughts and prayers to Casey to heal up and get better. But some encouraging signs coming from Casey and some of his family members that he's really liked what conversations he's had with Coach Rural. So we'll certainly be following that, and once some more information becomes available, we'll pop that out. Hey, buckle up, put that phone down. It's a reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. All right, women's basketball tomorrow night against Samford, 6 o'clock at PBA, pregame coverage at 5:45. One of the young players on that team was Kendall Moriarty, and having to play a little bit more right now with some recent injuries to that team, to Trinity Brady, and also you've got Sam Hybe dealing with injuries, so Kendall's having to play some more basketball. Jessica caught up with Kendall earlier this week.
How did you get into basketball in the first place? I always like to ask athletes how they got into their sport.
Yeah, so I played basketball since I was little. I played at the little YMCA little thing, and then just continued to play. My sister played too, so I played with her during AAU. I played up on her team, and high school all 4 years. And so I think having her play basketball with me and keeping the family moving around really sold me for the game.
When did you realize, okay, I'm pretty good at this and I can maybe go to college at this?
Just when I got my first college phone call. I honestly wasn't expecting it. I went to an elite camp, and then the coaches called me after and was like, hey, we might offer you. And I was like, oh, that wasn't even on my radar yet. And I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. This is actually happening. And then it all just took off from there.
You're the youngest, right? You have an older sister, an older brother?
Yes.
What was that like growing up? I mean, and I'm sure that kind of helped shape you into the person you are.
Yeah, I love both of them. We weren't really like that group of siblings that would always fight. We always got along pretty well, and I just love both of them, and I know they come to my games today, or not today, but during this time, so I always get to see them again.
Your parents are a hit on this in this program.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like? Because they don't miss a game, right? They travel to most all of the games.
Yeah, so they're always here. They pretty much live in Lincoln during season time, and they travel all over the country wherever we play. They try to come to every single game. My mom has been at every game. My dad travels a lot for work. So this past week he was in Puerto Rico with us, and then went to France, and then Maryland, and now he's in Singapore. So he's all over. I feel bad for the guy, but he's doing his best.
How special is that, though, for you to have that support that you know they're going to be there, or somebody's going to be there supporting you, and this team, too, on the road, a lot of times, to have somebody there that's wearing red every single game?
Yeah, it's great. I'm so grateful that, they come to pretty much all the games, and just having that support system really helps me feel more comfortable. And some of the teammates that their parents can't come to the games, they know that my parents will be there and cheer them on, go crazy. So
why do you think they are so well liked with the staff, and your teammates love your parents too?
They're just really personable, and they love everyone, and just love to have a good time, and just bond with people and create those connections.
I mentioned at the top that you were part of the bench mob that, took off, went viral multiple times. We get asked about it still on our Sports Nightly show. What was that like, being a part of that and seeing how it blew up the way that it did?
It was crazy. It started as something small, and then, it just grew into something bigger. But it was so fun being on the bench, just having those group of girls that, were just having fun doing what we loved. And, this year we try to continue it, and it's a little different since we we have everyone going in the game multiple minutes. So it's, a little different, but at the beginning of the game, the group of us on the sideline were like, what's the first one? And so we do that still.
Yeah, kind of hard to do the celebrations when you're on the court. What was it like going into this year as a sophomore, as a freshman, and then taking on a bigger role? What was your goal going into this year now that you had a year under your belt?
Yeah, I definitely feel way more comfortable and confident on the court this year compared to last year. Last year, freshman year, I was scared to go on the court and all of that, and just having that year under my belt really helped me this season, coming out of my comfort zone, being more aggressive offensively and all of that stuff. So.
How much did you emphasize, being able to knock down the outside shots? I know you hit some threes last year, but this team needed someone to step up in that regard. How much did you focus on that, too?
A lot. Before practice, I always shoot with one of my coaches, Coach Mays, and put up just extra shots, before practice, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. And just, my teammates hop in with me, and, or I hop in with them. So it's a whole group thing that we're all putting in extra work.
There's been multiple times that Coach Williams has mentioned you in postgame and the spark that you've provided off the bench. How much pride do you take in that in giving this team a spark off the bench?
Yeah, I try my best to, fit whatever role, and if that is be the spark for the team, then that's what it is. And, I love hustle plays. I love diving on the floor. For me, it just gives me adrenaline, and I think it gives, a good momentum change in our direction. So just keep on doing that.
What's it been like for you seeing the support, too, of Husker Nation? Again, from last year to this year, and now we're talking about selling out a game this year for this program. How special is that to be a part of that?
It is so special. We're so grateful for all the fans that we have. Coming into this program, I knew that, there was a lot of fans, and the, PBA was going to be full and stuff like that. And just being here and playing in front of them, it's so special.
I think one thing that Husker fans really love about this program and this team is that you can watch you guys play and really feel how much you guys actually like each other. And a lot of teams, you don't get that feeling. So it's genuine, right? How genuine is the love that you guys have for each other, and how much you really do enjoy spending every single moment together?
Yeah, it's super, special, a group of people that just love each other, and it's so genuine, knowing that I can call up any one of my teammates and be like, want to hang out? And they'd be like, yeah. So, like, just having that support system as well, like on the court and off the court, is something that just helps the team just gel and play well together.
I know you guys have closed a chapter and moved on, but we have to talk about the Maryland win because it's something that this program had never done. What went into that? How ready were you guys for that moment?
Yeah, it was a great game. It was super fun. Just, you know, knocking them off and just not being able to beat them years prior and just getting that win for Nebraska and just making that statement was something very special to be a part of. And just leading up to it, we did a lot of preparation. You know, we've been in some games that we just learned from, and we watched film and we learned from our mistakes, which I think helped us win.
What's come together? Because, again, it seemed like this team was kind of trying to figure some things out, put some things together. So what did come together there in that game?
I think just it was a great team win, and we all, like, played together, just celebrated each other and played for one another. And when we do that, things go well.
How important was it for you guys to get a big win on the road? You guys love playing in PBA, protect home court, but to find a way to win some of those big wins on the road, how important was that? Very important. Road wins are especially hard to win when you're not on your home court with your fans and calls don't go your way. It can be easy to, you know, put your head down, stuff like that, but we just stuck to it and got that road win. What was it like to, because you guys knocked off Maryland, and then a couple hours later, the men's basketball team knocked off Creighton. How cool is that to get to be a part of that? And again, social media went bonkers because both teams had huge wins. Yeah, it's great. Husker Nation was going crazy that day. We were watching it before we took off, and then we had to stop and get fuel at a different place, and so we pulled it back up and we're like, oh my god, we're winning. And then so we watched the end of the game, and it was great, you know, just having two big wins for Nebraska is great. Who do you live with? What's that dynamic like? I live with Allison, Alexis, and Kendall. We've known each other for more than a year now and have been living with them more than a year now, and it's great. I love all of them, and we're basically like sisters. Hang out in the living room 24/7. No one's like hanging out in their room. So it's really fun. Who's the cleanest? Okay, no one is really the cleanest. So are you all messy? We're all messy. And then we take like, you know, a day we're like, all right, we got to clean. And so we all start cleaning together. But everyone cleans, so there's no drama there. Who's the messiest? It depends on the day. I mean, I can be, Kendall can be, and then Alexis's room sometimes is a little crazy, but yeah. Who's the best cook? Kendall Coley. She will cook for us, like nights that we're home, and, you know, after practice, she's like, all right, I'll make dinner, so she's always cooking. What's her best meal that she makes? Trying to think. She always makes chicken noodle soup. That's her favorite to make, and it's really good. But yeah, that, or we just make hamburger helpers, and you know, that's it. What's the TV show or go-to show that you guys watch together? We all watched Stranger Things when it first came out. We sat in the living room for days straight watching that, and we're trying to find like a new show for all of us to watch, but we always find something and we just binge watch it together. That's awesome. Well, we talked about it being back home for a good stretch. How excited are you guys to be back home inside PBA? So excited. It feels like we haven't been in PBA in such a long time. So, I mean, going out there tomorrow actually will be super special and home again. And then hopefully Sam makes a return to how much of a lift is that going to give this team when she's able to get back out there with you guys? It's gonna help us so much. I love Sam Hybe. She's one of my favorite people ever. On the court, off the court, just a great leader. And just having, you know, Sam back in the court, I think will just change a lot of things for us. What does that say about her that, you know, she's kind of stepped back at times and is willing to let teammates take the spotlight, but she's been a part of this program and has done so many big things, but she really does. I mean, she's all about the team, right? Mm-hmm. She does so much for our team and just the whole connection. She's just like a main part of everything. And, you know, when she's on the court, she can change the game and just like that and take over a game just like that. And she just has a very good basketball IQ. Well, I'm back. Sorry. I left you hanging there for a little bit. It's been a little crazy recruiting stuff going on down there, talking to some of the recruits. But Kendall Coley, loved chatting with her. And how about Kendall Moriarty? How about Kendall Coley being the best cook in the house with chicken noodle soup?
I love that. I love that little insight.
We need to try to see if we can get some chicken noodle soup up here. It's kind of cold. I love chicken noodle soup.
Well, again, 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Sanford for the Huskers, 5:45 for pregame coverage here on the Huskers Radio Network. All right, phone lines, text lines open if you want to be a part of the program, 402-413-2400. That is our Sports Sunday hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. We need to pick a game. We're going to do that and review last week's picks next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
It's the Ford Shine Bright sales event, and Ford is helping you be a light for others this holiday season. Right now, get special offers on select Ford trucks and SUVs. Come in and choose a vehicle in stock, or simply place a custom order, lock in your rate, and you're protected. Hurry in to your local Ford dealer today and find the Ford vehicle that helps you shine bright all season long. Not all models, trims, or features may be available or may be subject to change.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every single day, Central Valley Ag works with our farmers to feed the globe. When you grow non-GMO white corn or non-GMO yellow corn, you can earn up to $250 more per acre. Do the math. Growing CVA value-added grains pays huge dividends. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Learn how you can get up to a $5,000 signing bonus with a value-added grain contract at cvacoop.com. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Off the back rim, Markowski. Great rebound. People for the ball. Throws it out to Moriarty. Widener for three. Deep right corner. You betcha. Off the assist to Moriarty, but give half an assist to Alexis Markowski.
And the sophomores are closing out the quarter.
Monday, join us for Sports Nightly at 6 p.m. when we'll recap another big weekend of Huskers athletics. At 7 p.m., Fred Hoiberg is in studio for the Nebraska men's basketball show. Tune into your local affiliate or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, it is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night. Looked it up that it's been about a month since we've had a full Friday show. So it's been a while.
It's kind of crazy. Feels like it's been a while.
Yes, we're just delaying our weekend celebration. All right, time for our Big Ten game predictions presented by Choices Treatment Center, helping people make positive choices. We had 6 championship games that we picked last week, so let's go back and look how everybody did. The Big Ten game, we all went Michigan, and Purdue did okay. They hung in there. They kicked 5 field goals. You're not going to beat Michigan kicking field goals. You needed to have some of those be touchdowns. But they hung around for a while in that game.
Yeah, I thought Purdue would have been the best matchup for Michigan in that setting. Iowa would not have been a good matchup at all. That would have been brutal to watch. So I thought Purdue, of all the teams that maybe could go make it interesting a little bit, I thought Purdue would have been the best team to do that.
So all 5 of us got that one right. Yay, team. The Big 12 championship, K-State against TCU.
What a fantastic game.
Terrific game.
The best game of the day.
In fact, that league is kind of earning the reputation of having the best title games.
Because they have to rematch.
Right.
It's the second time around that these teams are playing.
Because last year was Baylor, Oklahoma State, and didn't that end like at the half-yard line or something?
It was the last play, and Baylor got a stop, I think, at the end, or Oklahoma. Yeah, it was Baylor did. And two, it's crazy. It's a lot of these Big 12 games have come down to who's going to go to the college football playoff, too.
Right.
And so, yeah, and this is the case. It was the case again this year. And I think they got it right. You and I talked about that. I thought that no matter what happened, if TCU kept it close, that they had done enough to get in, and I'm glad that the committee put them in.
So Andrew and I picked K-State. You, Tim, and Molly did not.
Yes.
So
we picked the wrong purple team. There was a lot of purple in there.
There was a lot of purple in there. Purple Cats from Manhattan get the victory, but it didn't cost TCU a spot in the playoffs, and nor should it have. The SEC, we all went Georgia. They handled LSU pretty handily. Pac-12, we were different on this one. The only one that went with the Utes, the revenge tour.
Okay.
So Andrew gets a win on all of us because the rest of us took USC.
Yeah, I mean,
Caleb Williams getting hurt changed that, didn't it?
I think it absolutely did, and I mean USC didn't play any defense at all. But yeah, I think Caleb Williams being hindered because he is so good at making plays off his feet and scrambling, and he couldn't do that once he had gone down.
The ACC, Clemson, North Carolina. We all took Clemson. They ended up winning fairly easily in that game. Really good AAC championship game. UCF and Tulane. You and I, Tim and Molly, went with the Green Wave. Andrew went with UCF. We get it right. He got it wrong.
So we pick up a point there. He was trying to get some points and try to make up some ground, and one paid off, one didn't.
So Andrew and I go 5-1. You, Tim, and Molly all went 4-2. So you have now a lead of 5 over Molly, 6 over Andrew, 7 over me, and Tim. I jumped you with that performance, 109 to 58.
Tim and Andrew just keep going back and forth on who's bringing up the rear.
They do. Andrew's actually had a couple good weeks in a row now. I don't like to say that too loud, but yeah, he has. He went 9-2, then 6-5, and now 5-1. So he's had a couple.
He's scooting his way over just to take a victory lap on that.
And like Jessica mentioned earlier in the show, he's wanting us to pick FCS playoff games,
high school games, and
rhubarb.
He wants to throw in some basketball games. Yeah. I mean, he's literally whatever kind of potential football game there might be, he wants us to, so he can try to catch up.
Catch up, yeah. All right, so this week, just Army-Navy, and then we'll get into some bowl picks in the next couple of weeks. So here it is. This is such a great game. It's a really tight line. Navy is favored by 2. I've kind of learned in the past, go with the underdog in this game, so that means go Army. So I've got Army to beat Navy tomorrow.
I'm going to go with Navy. I mean, it is wild how crazy this game is, and it never goes how you think it's going to go, and a lot of times comes down to one play.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to go with Navy.
Okay, Tim?
I'm torn here. I'm going to go Navy because I think Andrew is going Army, and I'm still trying to beat Andrew. So it's tough because, like Andrew, I have a lot of family who were in the Army. I have actually one family member who was in the Navy. So it's hard when you get to this game, but I got to go with Navy.
I love watching this game every year. It's on my bucket list. I want to go attend it at some point in time. And you're right, Tim. Andrew did take Army, so we are split evenly here. Don't have Molly's pick, but we'll get it before
totally
kickoff.
Forgot.
We'll get it before kickoff tomorrow. So that's it for this week. So that's our only game. Again, we'll have more coming up with the bowl season still ahead of us. How about the chat room? How are they doing in the chat room?
Let me pull that up. I had it, and then I lost it. But I believe there's a couple of people tied at the top. So Crypto and Joseph are both 109 and 58. Corn and Gavin are 106 and 61, and John is 101 and 66. Jim is 99 and 68. So they're pretty close there, and we've got quite a few bowl games to pick, right? So anybody's game there in the chat.
Good stuff. They're having fun with that as well. I can't wait to see how they come down.
Oh yeah, you got to get your picks in like the first day as soon as they're announced, and they talk about it all week.
I wonder how split they are in the Army-Navy game. I think
a lot of people pick Navy.
Okay. Yeah, Navy again favored by 2 in that game over Army. Well, folks, if you or someone you love has a problem with gambling, call Choices Treatment Center at 402-476-2300 or the Nebraska Gamblers Assistance Program at 1-833-238-6837. First Interstate Bank, built for you. Learn more at www.firstinterstatebank.com, member FDIC. Phone lines, text lines open, 402-413-2400. We're back with more of the show coming up.
You've got options when you shop pre-owned with Woodhouse. Over 1,000 cars, trucks, and SUVs inspected and road ready, with a team ready to tackle all your needs and wants to get you the perfect vehicle. Plus, with financing options and extended warranty coverage options, Woodhouse makes purchasing your next vehicle an easy one-stop shop in dealership or online, bringing you more every time since 1975. Shop Woodhouse.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Nebraska has taken over leadership from Princeton University in coordinating the U.S. physics community at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. For its role, Nebraska has been awarded over $50 million in National Science Foundation grants. This cutting-edge work at the world's largest particle accelerator helps physicists uncover the origins and makeup of the universe.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance. Visit shelterinsurance.com and find an agent to help you choose the coverage you need. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Friday night. Last few minutes of our weekly show here of Sports Nightly. It broke a couple of hours ago. O'Shawn Mathis is going to put his name in for the NFL draft, so his Husker career is over. He announced a week or so ago that he was weighing his options, and obviously this is where he is leaning. Probably got a little bit of feedback from some NFL people, and I wish him well. I wish we could have seen him play one more year, but he'll have a chance. I don't know. I bet he tests pretty well when they do all that.
Yeah, he's going to have to test well, and he's going to be fantastic in the interview process part of it, portion of it, and that's a lot of when these guys start meeting with the scouts and the GMs. They have a lot of one-on-one conversations, and you want good representatives of your franchise, of your programs, and he's going to be that guy. He is super impressive to talk to, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes and how his draft stock improves throughout the process, because I think at this point, probably not where he had hoped it would have been coming in here and playing for a year, but hopefully he can, a lot of the scouts love the 40 time and how much you bench and a lot of that, so hopefully he goes out there and performs well. You think he'll get a combine invite, right? Maybe?
I think so. That's a question for Jeremiah. Jeremiah, I think, studies
I think there's enough intrigue, especially with a defensive lineman,
probably.
that I think he'll probably, I don't know, I guess it probably too depends on how many
Trey Palmer definitely will.
Yes. And, because sometimes it depends on how many positions, how many guys in that position group they have. And so if it's a low defensive line group, then he'll probably get an invite.
Trey Palmer, by the way, has been invited to the Senior Bowl, so congratulations to him. That'll be a showcase event for him. Remember, Samori went to one of those last year and really showed out well. I think that helped him get drafted.
Absolutely, yep.
Jeff on our text line said, you two need to slow down on the Kool-Aid. not so sure on the defensive hire. Heard he was a quarterback coach before, and this is the Big Ten, not the ACC. Jeff, I'm looking at Coach White's coaching career. He never coached on the offensive side of the ball, so wherever you heard that, that's wrong. He was started out as a linebackers coach in New Mexico, then a corners coach at San Diego State, where then he eventually became the recruiting coordinator, where I said he was twice named the Mountain West Recruiter of the Year. Corner coach at Arizona State, defensive coordinator for the Sun Devils for a year, and the last 2 years at Syracuse. And you're right. Congratulations. Points for you that you don't realize Syracuse is in the ACC and that we play in the Big Ten. So good for you. And but they were top 30 defenses, and they beat Purdue when they played the one Big Ten team they played. So,
to me, it's... Sorry, go ahead.
Am I proclaiming Tony White to be the best defensive coach in the country? No, I'm not. But I'm willing to give this guy a chance, and I think his credentials are pretty darn good. So... there you go.
Yeah, and to me, the ACC, they play better play better offense in the ACC.
They're a little more wide open than this league.
Yeah, and they had to play some teams that, like NC State lit up the scoreboard several times, and they held them to 9 points. Clemson is a team that scores a lot of points.
Right.
And Purdue has put up a lot of points. So, I mean, I think, to me, it's pretty impressive. It's a lot of times harder to play defense in a league like that can put up the points. North Carolina, did they play North Carolina? But
look, I do not.
I know, and two, again, I think Syracuse got hit pretty hard by injuries there at the end of the season. But I think it's for him to have some of the performances put together in the ACC, to me, is pretty impressive.
Back-to-back top 30 defenses. I mean, folks, we haven't sniffed that kind of thing around here in a long, long time. So. Again, highly thought of recruiter at his time at Arizona State, to a really good defensive back in his college days at UCLA, played in the Canadian Football League. So, again, I mean, this is where things, if people keep coming up, well, I heard he coached quarterbacks, and that's completely wrong. They lost to Clemson 27-21. They had a lead a long time in that game, and that was on the road. Florida State roughed them up. They gave up a lot, but they held Pitt to 9. They held BC to 23. They got a win over them. They held Purdue. They beat Purdue 32-29 when they played the Boilermakers. So held Louisville to 7, the opening game of the year. So they had 3 games where they held teams under 10 points.
That's impressive.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
3 of your 12. So Louisville being one, an FCS school, which I get that, and NC State, like you said, they beat NC State 24-9. So.
Yeah, I think that's pretty impressive. And two, you have to keep in mind, it's not just about this. This is what I can't stress enough too. It's not just about going to get, hey, the best coach at this position and the best coach at this position, and you just mesh them all together. You have to get guys that work together and fit what the vision is and the culture, and it has to all work together within the program and the system and everything that Coach Rule wants to implement here in Nebraska. They have to all go together. You can't just mix and match from all these different areas and places and systems and hope that they all go together. You know, it's got to be a cohesive unit, and that is what Coach Rule is trying to put together is guys that can all do what he's envisioning here at Nebraska. And I got to tell you, I just met a few of them, and I am really impressed with the guys I got a chance to talk to.
Lots of energy.
Yes. Oh, it was, yes. The energy is absolutely there.
Jessica, tomorrow night, the Heisman will be handed out. Caleb Williams?
I think so. I think it is.
The 4 that are there, Caleb Williams, Max Duggan from TCU, Stetson Bennett, the quarterback from Georgia, and then C.J. Stroud, the quarterback from Ohio State. I think Caleb Williams probably wins.
Here's what's so crazy is that if you just look at the stats, Stetson Bennett has probably put together the best season, but he just, it's not as impressive because of how good Georgia's defense is. But then it's intriguing too because a lot of those Heisman voters will hold on to their votes after the championship game, and Max Duggan won if you have that argument. If you're going to base your vote off of, if you're going to wait and see how the quarterbacks performed in championship Saturday, then I think you give it to Max Duggan. So yeah, I think to me, it seems a little wide open. It just depends on what the voter is going for, and I think probably a lot of SEC voters will pick Stetson Bennett.
I wish that it wasn't all quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Whether Blake Corum from Michigan got hurt, I understand that, but he had a great year. Could you not mix a running back or a wide receiver or a defensive, somebody on the, just because there are certain awards that go to quarterbacks. This is the Heisman. Can you mix it up a little bit? That's my only disappointment.
Yeah, and I think, too, you look, too, at, which of these teams are in the situation they're in with or without their quarterback. And to me, I think you could – I'm not taking anything away from Stetson Bennett, but I think Georgia would be one of the best teams in the country with or without him at quarterback.
I agree.
So – does he make that much of a difference? That's again, that argument that it depends on how you view this thing as a voter. But yeah, it stinks that Blake Corum went down, because I think even one more game, if he makes it one more game, same with Andrew's guy from Tennessee, the quarterback there. If he makes it one more game, I think he might be in this conversation, which again is another quarterback. But I think Blake Corum, if he makes it one more game, he might.
If he could have played in the title game, or if he'd have been full strength for the Ohio State game.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. One more game. If he goes down late in the Ohio State game, but still they win that game with him, I think he still is a finalist. But yeah, I think it was the year of the quarterback, obviously.
Be a coup for Lincoln Riley if he gets a Heisman Trophy winner again at that quarterback spot. I mean, that would be quite a trend he's done as a college head coach. I
mean, he's a quarterback whisperer. It is, and I know a lot of people do not like him and do not like what he did at Oklahoma, but the proof is in the pudding. And also, reminder about Jalen Hurts was the Heisman runner-up, and Jalen Hurts was not expected to be drafted when he went to Oklahoma. He goes in the second round and is arguably, I mean, he's an MVP conversation right now, and he's developed a lot as a passer, and a lot of that was what he did at Oklahoma and working under Lincoln Riley. So yeah, I mean, he knows how to get quarterbacks, and also just again the offenses. He's able to build offenses that really, really get the most out of the quarterbacks, and it's not even just the same thing. It is, he tailors it to his quarterback strengths. So with Kyler Murray, it was different than Baker, and so yeah, I mean, same thing with Caleb Williams. It is certainly impressive what he can do with quarterbacks and how he develops those guys.
Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back with our winners and losers for the week next.
At Nebraska, our people will always be our greatest asset. Day by day, donors give our teams the best opportunity to compete and win through their generous donations. Our vision for the future is ambitious and requires help from those who want to see Husker athletics excel at the highest level. Go big and join thousands of other Huskers Athletic Fund members with your gift today at huskers.com/donate.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
In transition, Shelley 3 on the left wing. You betcha! How do you not guard her in transition? And timeout, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen of the Big Ten, if Nebraska goes in transition, somebody needs to guard Jazz Shelley.
Hey, Huskers fans, tomorrow, Nebraska women's basketball hosts Samford at the PBA. Matt Coatney and Jeff Greash are live on the Huskers Radio Network at 5:45 p.m. Tune into your local affiliate or at huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
So, when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody, Tim Mulhop with you here on a Friday night. We have reached that part of the program for this week's winners and losers of the week. Do you need a minute?
I think I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, lead us off.
My winner is Baker Mayfield. I mean, we just
What a game.
talking about Heisman winners. I mean, how impressive was that? And they were dead to rights. I mean, I thought this was over, and then he leads them on a 98-yard drive after having been there for less than 2 days. I mean, just so impressive and exciting to see. Yeah.
Very incredible. How about your loser?
I mean, it could be the Raiders, right? But I think I'm going to go with MLB Network's John Heyman with his tweet about Aaron Judge and calls him Arson Judge. And then he's going to the Giants, and what a fiasco that was.
Had it all wrong.
Yes.
Oh, tough. All right.
And Twitter blew up, and they were coming at him. Then he tries to delete all of his tweets, and that just made it worse. And Twitter 101, again, here we go with some of these people just trying to be right and get it wrong.
Be first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, be first and don't care about getting it right.
Tim.
Well, that plays nicely into my winner and loser because I'm going baseball, and as a New Yorker, I grew up a big Yankees fan, so this is a little biased. But Aaron Judge, I mean, I named him a winner, I remember earlier in the fall because of how he was just about to get paid, and that worked out for him. And I heard someone call it today the best example in MLB history of a bet on yourself year, and he gets $360 million over 9 years. So Aaron Judge is my winner. Deserves that money, and really happy, obviously, as a Yankees fan that he's staying with the Yankees. But losers, again, I'm a Yankees fan, but this is, I think, is objectively true. The Red Sox, I don't know what they're doing. They traded away Mookie Betts a couple years ago, and then Xander Bogaerts leaves in this free agency to go to San Diego, and they're just not paying their great players, homegrown players, guys that they've developed. And I know some Red Sox fans, and I've been giving them a lot of grief lately, but I don't get it. I don't understand why that ownership bought the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have money to spend on other sports teams. How do you not have money to pay your best players? So
and
the Red
Texas
Sox
Rangers are spending like there's no tomorrow.
Right.
Holy cow, getting DeGrom and some of those moves that they've made.
Right.
They've been wild. All right, my loser. I'm going the Big Ten officials from last night's Ohio State-Rutgers game who completely missed that a Buckeye was out of bounds touching the basketball on that last possession that led to the Buckeyes win. How do you miss that?
So, how do you miss the end of that game? You left here and you thought it was over, and then Andrew and I were like, you just missed the incredible finish to this game.
Shouldn't have happened. The guy was out of bounds.
Why did they not go back and review it?
Didn't review it, but the league called Rutgers today and go, yeah, we messed up. That play should never have counted. You should have won the game.
So I thought that, but then when I thought they didn't go back and review it, that they must not have seen something to make them go to the monitor. But why wouldn't you go check that?
They were in the showers already, getting out of there. Had a flight to catch or something. So bad stuff right there. You got to get that right at the end of a game. It cost Rutgers the game. Hopefully that doesn't cost them maybe an NCAA bid come March. That kind of win.
Hopefully the committee will consider that.
My winner, Brock Hardy. And some of you may be going, who is Brock Hardy? Well, he's the Huskers wrestler at 141, wrestling in that place that C.J. Redd has had for the last 4 years. He won. He was one of 3 Huskers to win their weight class at the Cliff Keen Invitational last week in Las Vegas. Brock Hardy, good for you. He beat a couple ranked wrestlers last weekend to win that title.
There's a lot of good winners this week. Mikey Labriola could have been the winner.
Mikey, we had a final, and he got sick. We were going to have him on the night.
Yeah,
he got sick.
We're the losers because we weren't able to get an interview with him this week.
Next week? Will he talk to us next week?
Hopefully we'll be able to get him in here. So.
Okay, because they wrestle at South Dakota State next Sunday before they take a little bit of a Christmas break. But Brock Hardy, remember that name. He's going to be one of the up-and-comers on that wrestling squad, so congratulations to him. Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Basketball doubleheader tomorrow, PBA. Let's go, right?
I love it. I love doubleheaders.
It's going to be fun. Thanks to Tim for running the show tonight. Have yourself a great weekend. We're back with you on Monday.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Student Government President Jake Drake with Campus News. Nebraska has the most technically advanced buildings in the Big Ten, according to an annual review of universities across the country. Nebraska has also saved over $85 million over the past 17 years by making long-term investments in clean, reliable energy sources, cutting-edge automation, and collaborations across campus.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Woodhouse Ford is your certified Ford dealer, serving drivers throughout Nebraska for 47 years. Our commitment to our customers continues well beyond the date of purchase. You will leave our lot feeling comfortable and confident in your new vehicle. Customers have been relying on Woodhouse Ford since 1975 for high-quality vehicles, knowledgeable staff, and exceptional service. Experience the Woodhouse Ford difference and shop at one of our 3 locations in-store or online at woodhouseford.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community